Hello,
Hello.
I'm Alice,
I'm Roy.
and we bought a Citroen Relay van.
On the 4th of April 2025.
It's a 2023 model, and when we bought it, it had around 300 miles on the clock. We're going to be documenting our camper van conversion and the resulting mishaps and adventures.
We've removed the bulkhead.
Yep. Yes, out.
And installed swivel seats.
So before disconnecting anything to do with the seats and the the seat belts and the seat occupancy sensors, which is all of these cables here, they're going to have to come off when the seat comes out. So, but before you do that, everyone says that you need to be disconnecting the van battery beforehand. So I'm going to disconnect the van battery and leave it 5 minutes. That way the airbag module is definitely turned off, and then you should be safe to remove the seats.
Time for a break, I think.
So seatbelts are off. Good news. Very good. Deciding it's a T50. I think it's a Torx 50 to take those off, I reckon. I've got a Torx 45 that seemed to do it. So the next bit is I need to get these occupancy sensors off. So these are little sensors to see if there's anyone sitting in the van. And we tried out the airbag system, and it does need these plugged in for the van to think that there's no issues, basically. So I've got to go and get these out so that they can sit in the new van somewhere. Not quite sure how to do that yet. I reckon we can swap this out.
Yeah.
Because this seatbelt mount looks like the same seatbelt mount as the seatbelt mounts that don't have the Oh, hey!
Yay.
Victory.
Very good.
Good. That means we have to do some grime.
It was difficult to find a front passenger seat to replace the bench seat, which makes sense as they're all manufactured with bench seats. We need a single passenger seat, as seat swivels are integral to the final design of our van. These are available new for over £700 at swivelseats.com, or for the low cost of £1,000 at Van Seats. But Roy came up with the great idea of finding a second-hand driver's seat from mainland Europe, as the fittings would all be in the correct place for a UK passenger seat.
Now, how's it going?
There's an amount of grime.
Yes. Grimy. Where's it from? Portugal?
Portugal. The seat is filled with Portuguese
Yes.
contractor farts.
Portuguese contractor farts who's been also gnawing on the
Yeah.
on the armrest, which I want to get rid of, but you think it's going to be amazing to be
I
able
think
to
it's
feed Dave. And this is the lovely water. So I think that was worth. I think that was worth doing.
I found this left-hand driver's seat, extracted from a crashed van in Portugal, for less than £300 on bparts.co.uk. At first I thought it must be a scam, as it was so much cheaper than all the other options, and although it came from a Peugeot Boxer, it seemed completely compatible with our Citroën Relay. So I crossed my fingers, dusted off my credit card, and waited, and after 3 weeks a rather well-used Portuguese driver's seat turned up at Roy's workplace. I really couldn't be happier with the service we received from bParts. This isn't sponsored, of course, but I really recommend them to anyone doing a similar project who is trying to save a bit of cash. We bought fast swivel seats from swivelseats.com. We initially wanted to go for the Sportscraft ones, as they are offset towards the centre of the vehicle, but these are not currently being sold, apparently due to a fundamental design flaw, which resulted in many new models being returned to the retailer. Now that they're installed, we realise that there may not have been room for both seats to be offset anyway, so I think we made the right decision. 2 swivels with fixing bolts and delivery cost us £313 and 8 pence.
This is where I've been working. Delicious.
Oh, shit.
So we think we might have got this right now, but it doesn't line up with the instructions because it says the handle's supposed to point up, but it's not. But now it rotates the correct direction, so who knows? Oh, that's hilarious.
Lol.
You've made that hole so small that the plug doesn't come out. Oh yeah, it does, upside down. Hey, good. Right, so old crusty, the crust immobiliser, not mobiliser, pre-tensioner. It's come off. I don't actually know if it's fired. It came off a crashed van. Doesn't look like it's fired, but you know, what do I know? So yeah, very good. And now the seat. Swivelies. Ah, yes. You got to let go. Oh. The seat's alls.
Yay.
Okay, so next I'm going to plug all of the safety equipment back into the van so that it's convinced that it has nothing's changed. So this here is the eye plugged into the seatbelt sensor, which goes in this way round. Should just snap in quite stiff. This is the occupancy sensor, so it's just a weight sensor so you know if someone's sitting in the seat. So if you've got someone's in the seat without the seatbelt on, the van will complain. So this one's plugged into an actual seatbelt, but we're not going to put this in the seat. And then this one is the other occupancy sensor. And finally, the last seatbelt, which we'll lose underneath the seat somewhere. And in theory, if you've done this right, the van, when we wake it up again, has no idea that any of this has happened. Let's see.
We're so stealthy, even the van doesn't know it's a van.
This should be fine. Yay, boys! very good. Oh, very good. Turns out the seat is...
Seat spins quite easily. The process of installing the spinner to the driver's seat went a lot more quickly. This was for two reasons. Firstly, we'd done it before, so knew what we were doing. Secondly, because we didn't have to worry about the seat belts and bypassing the safety sensors like we did for the passenger seat. We now have two fully swivelable chairs in the van, and without the bulkhead, it's looking a lot more airy and spacious. What's the next thing we need to do in order to make it usable? Onto the floor. Creating the floor template was tricky. Despite being, I assume, manufactured by robots in a factory, our van has many of her own little quirks. Not just the lumps and bumps you can see in this time-lapse, but flaws in filler application, differentials in where the wheel arches are attached, and the odd missing bit of plastic too. She's a special snowflake, and we needed to treat her as such. This meant using a scriber to ensure the template was a realistic fit. I could not get my head around how to do this. Here is Roy demonstrating with the light. Here is me failing to scribe again. Anyhow, we got through it, and this giant toddler's work of art is how we will template the plywood to fit the floor. Subscribe to see in our next video whether we can make this work.
That's about it so far.
That's how far we've got.
Yes.
We hope you enjoy our many mistakes that we make on this journey.
There will be some. Bye.